Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 179 of Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse. We're getting there, close to 200. My name is Greg. I am the Bat Daddy 52. Normally, we have a really big show of a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of shows, a lot of things going on. This week, it's a little smaller, but a little smaller doesn't mean worse. Doesn't mean worse because we do have a lot of cool things to talk about this week. We have Titans this week, which, well, I said cool things before I said Titans. Maybe I misspoke, but we have Titans to talk about this week. Yeah, I watched Sweet Tooth, which is fantastic. I'm going to recommend it for anybody. I watched Sweet Tooth. We have guest Mindy Wheeler on tonight to talk about her comic. We've got a lot of fun stuff. So, not that much does not mean not that fun, is all I'm saying. It's going to be a really good night. We've got a lot of fun stuff. Ross is with me. What's up, Ross?
I feel like your intro is just like watching the heart monitor, just boop, boop. Like, it's going to be good. It's not so good. No, it's going to be good. No, it's fine. We got people.
Right. Well, I was debating on actually not even playing the intro and just waiting like 10 minutes in, like Titans and Picard does, and then starting the intro like 10 minutes in. Like, I debated that, but now it's like, nah, I'll do it.
No.
I'll do it normal.
Save it for 200.
Right.
We got
there you go.
Big little
That's a good idea right there. That's a good idea. So, we have special guests on tonight, Mindy Wheeler. Mindy, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's really, really good to have you on tonight. You have some work we're going to talk about. And per usual, when we have guests, we're going to start with them. So, Mindy, I'm going to walk you into your work here. So, Boobs, name of your comic. I'm going to put the Kickstarter information up and the photos you sent us and everything up. And go ahead and talk to us about this comic and what it's about.
Cool. Well, I think everybody loves boobs. So there's not much debate on that topic. It's been a lot of fun, and puns have gone on for days. It's a lot of fun surrounding this book. It's meant to be quite a silly book. It's a parody, and it's very satirical, so it makes fun of everything. And it's about a cosplayer who gets the nickname of Boobs. And in this first issue here, it's the sort of inciting event, which the two main characters, Boobs and who becomes her sidekick, Sumchai, where they meet. So, yeah, that's art from issue 2 right there. Actually, that's in an update, nested inside of an update. But the campaign's doing awesome so far. Yeah. That every episode or yep. Every issue she's in a different cosplay. So that second one you'll see, that's the Scarlet Witch looking costume. And then in the first issue she's more of a Supergirl type. So yeah, it's a blast. It's the blast. My husband just bedazzled a pair of silicone boobs for this campaign.
You showed them to me right before we started, and I was like, that's amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so I got to ask you, I'm assuming you've been an artist your whole life based on because you're the artist here, correct? I'm assuming you've been an artist your whole life based on the work I see here. What inspired this story?
Laughter. 100%. Okay. Just have it. Yep. Just wanting to have a blast and having a blast, and that was it. Like the inception of laughter between my husband and I, and we love to laugh with each other, especially. That was kind of like the whole attraction between us that really kicked off our whole relationship. We've been married almost 10 years now. So we were just sitting in the car, and I've been in the comics industry for 9 years, I think it is. And it's been crap.
Yeah.
Like, the industry sucks. The people suck. Not the fans. The other creators suck. They're very toxic, very mean people. I've been bullied. Oh yeah, I've been ripped off on jobs. I've been not paid for work. It's been horrible.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time though, like there has been a lot of good people that I've met throughout the years on the fan side that have stuck with me through all of that and like support my stuff and are super cool people, and like I'm not about drama and all that. I just always wanted to have a good time, and like nobody ever let me. And I think it's a competition thing a lot of times when other creators attack other creators. It's a lot like high school, this industry. And not to mention, you see the entertainment, the state of entertainment of what it is today. You know, it's all over the place. It's all a mess. It's all a mess. So I've been wanting to do my own book for a long time, and I almost gave up comics like 2 or 3 times over, but I pushed through the past 2.5 years and worked, as hard as I could on this book. And I intend for it to go through 8 issues at least. I already have issue 2 done, and that'll be coming out in about August too. So this is the result of all that really, really hard work and, pushing through all that crap to just have as much fun as possible and really enjoy comics again. And my husband and I came up with this concept in the script just totally because we were laughing, and then these characters came out, and then I like babied them and nurtured them and written the heck out of them for 2.5 years, and now it's just like an awesome book that I'm really proud of. Really proud of. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So thank you.
You very well should be. The last, I think, 3 guests now that we've had on have all been comedy or satire type comics, which I think is the next market to tap. I think it's that there hasn't been a lot of really good, well drawn, story driven, comedic stories we've seen in a while. And I love the fact that I see a lot of artists and storytellers coming to this front and really kind of pushing that forward. I think that's the next phase in storytelling, to be honest with you. Like, entertainment always goes through phases, whether it be horror, vampires and werewolves, superheroes, natural disasters. Like, there's always apocalypses. There's always a thing. Maybe like that comical satire thing that's still done really well, because you can have something that is funny but still adult and kind of classy. Like, there's a bunch of different kinds of funny. So I love seeing somebody attacking this kind of angle. And like I said, you're the 3rd guest in a row we've had on that's had kind of a comedy type role with this, and I love it because life is funny. And if life's not funny, then you need to step back for a second and really take a broad look at it, because life is very funny. So
Yeah.
Ross, go ahead.
Yes.
I was going to say your idea. I mean, it is completely original. Yes, you're using cosplay, but I mean, what I love about having everyone on talking about their individual projects is how completely original they're taking these spins and then running with them. I like your whole campaign for this has been fun to watch. I went back and like watched, your like vlog that you're doing, the making memories together, and I mean all the stuff that I went back and looked at was fantastic. Loved it. I have kind of been stuck on what Greg just asked you, and that is, the background for this thing, just for you and your husband have the conversation. I mean, like there have been many conversations I've had in my life, especially, younger and substance driven, where they were pretty much just nonstop laughter fests. And I imagine that was kind of where you were at with just talking about this. And those moments are already to die for in life. Like, you don't have enough of those in your own life. But for you to take something like that and to turn it into this is amazing. I guess what I really want to know is where did you find most people just talk about things that they want to do. Where did you find that the drive to push this into a complete story?
That's a good question. And yeah, I have to comment that
Uh-oh. Oh no, she got out. Mindy, come back.
those laugh for a second. Y-
Oh
No.
Mindy, you're cutting out. Let me text you.
yeah, those laughter moments are internet fail. There we go. Are we back?
Oh, we got you.
You're back now. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, good.
Okay, my internet sometimes is crap. I got a bunch of trees, and this time of year it's like It just goes in and out. So sorry.
Cut them all down.
What
Trees.
drove me to make this
Cut them
into a
all down. We
story?
don't need them for anything. Sorry. Good.
Else, you know.
Oh, I
What
hate
they'll.
your...
Okay, there we go. What inspired me to make this into a story? That's I don't even know how to answer that. I guess just I had a lot of bad experiences with creators, right? So it was kind of empowering for me to come. Should I get in and out again? Is it like cutting off really bad?
You might want to. Yeah, yeah. It's cutting out pretty bad.
Let me.
We'll show the video while you cut in and out.
Okay,
Greg, you can go ahead and put the video up.
All right. Yeah, let me do that.
Let me.
I have like 4 of these. So I want to go to the video right here.
Oh my God.
What an idea.
An idea. I agree.
Just think about it. There's things that I'm gonna ask her when she comes back, but I mean you take this, you and I have conversations all the time that, you know, we bounce ideas off each other and we try to talk about, like, you know, like the state of the world and stuff like that. I know that you definitely feel sometimes where you reach a moment where it's like, you know, there's so much hate towards people like me and I just don't understand it. And it comes from people who have experiences like Mindy's just talking about. When you have such an industry and it's just beating her down to the ground, you know, these are the stories that you get from people that really come back and make you question, I guess, like, why would people do that? And then what kind of a person would do that? And then, do I know people like that? Because it's really saddening. You know, she can take such a simple laughter idea and turn it into this type of comic book, which, I mean, look at the artwork. Boobs aside, look at the artwork for this thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it's interesting to see. It's not interesting. It's very nice to see someone who has been in this position that she has been in to basically turn this around as a power move and be like, fine, this is what you want. You know, laugh your ass off because I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, I really like what she's done. It's a bold move, you know, because especially in the world you're in today, I feel. But you've known me your whole life. I've known you your whole life. Like, you and I know that, like, when I look at something like this, I'm going to laugh at it. I'm going to have a good time and laugh at it. And that's what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be something that's going to offend anybody or anything like that. It's meant to be something that you're going to laugh at and you're going to have a good time reading. I'm interested in this comic. I want to know the plot and the storyline. Mindy's back with us, and I want to ask her about this kind of stuff. Let's see. Mindy, how you doing?
Is it working now?
It is working now. I can hear you. There you go.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Internet is great when it works, but when it doesn't, it is a pain in the ass.
There, maybe I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear it at all.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Oh.
I think my cords are going out or something. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can make it through the show.
I'm
I got questions.
Okay.
No, you're good. You're fine. We are not professionals. We are professional fans. So you're good to go. Ross, did you have a question you were asking before she got cut out?
Yeah, basically what I was asking was how you turn it into an idea, but you know, Greg and I were talking too, and I think like to a stronger point. when you say that the way that people kind of treated you in the industry and where it got you with what you wanted to create. Uh, I mean, I see this as a little bit of a power move. Is that what you were kind of going for?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, is that it was like, it was kind of empowering, and I don't use that word often at all. So, like that, it was empowering to, um,
There's just no winning.
internet.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
does it
internet
work on
sucks.
my phone?
It should.
Can it work? Let me try that
If
because I
you
don't know
if
what's going on.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, if you can get your email on your phone, it should.
It's
We're
almost like
going
it
to
doesn't want you to
test
talk
it.
about it because you talk just fine
Let's
when
see.
you're not talking about the comic.
Right.
That's what I get for calling AI the devil the other day. It
Oh, you gotta
knows.
be careful with that. You gotta be careful.
Oh, now I see you coming on the phone. Here we go. I can have you on both
Hey,
streams. That's great. All
Whoa!
right, let me take you out here. Here we go. All right, so we see you here, Mindy.
Oh, your camera's on.
okay, working on it.
Isn't
Technology, man.
it great
Okay,
though?
what's gonna happen? Where am I?
There you are. All right.
Technology always gives me trouble. I'm so sorry. This is like laughable trouble.
Nothing wrong with that. We are not professionals, like I said. So, um, all right. So where are we at? I know we were
I
asking about the comic. Ross asked you about starting out. Look, I have a teenage daughter, 16 years old, phenomenal artist. I cannot wait to send you some of her work that wants to get involved in this world. So, what would you say to somebody who is a young artist in this position to move forward with what you want to do? Like,
Female artist on top of it.
well, female on top of it, but male too. I mean,
Yeah.
but so yeah, but definitely. Like, what would you say to somebody who's an aspiring artist who wants to get into something like this?
would ask her. The first question is, does she have a specific taste for what she wants to do? Does she like comics? Does she like
Okay.
painting? Just like really pretty one pictures, or does she like drawing action? What does she like more specifically about art? Because that will tell you where she'll be happy.
Okay. Yeah, I think that well, for my daughter at least, she loves painting freehand and she loves just drawing. So she's very good at both. I'm gonna, of course, pass some stuff on to you after we, get out of here. But I'm trying to get her involved in something like this that she wants to do, even if it's not a career. If it's something that you can at least have as a hobby that you love to do, then it's, fine too. But a career would be great.
It's Well, I'm still exploring the realm of Kickstarter books myself. I've seen a lot of other creators have a lot of success with it. Um, but then some of them are some of the same nasty creators that I think go around and spread a lot of hate and vitriol online.
Hmm.
So it's a comics is a really dog eat dog industry.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's been dumpster fire over the past few years too, because the publishers, if she wants to get into comics, she might have run in with some publishers, and they aren't great either. And it's turned into this whole like they basically will hire based on, in my experience and opinion anyway, they basically hire on based on social media presence, not on talent.
Oh,
And
okay.
that was like a big complaint from industry veterans a few years ago. And you see the result of that is a lot of crap entertainment, because anybody can pay for
You're not
Instagram
wrong.
likes.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's blowing back in their face. So it she, as an artist, she really loves to draw, and which I understand. She has to understand that the world at large shouldn't mean anything. Like the publishers shouldn't matter because they're going through their own crap. The other creators don't matter because they'll pick fun at you and bully you because they want you to leave because they want to make the money. They don't want you to make the money. That happens. Some are nice. Not all of them are that way, but some of them are also really mean. as a female too, I've been bullied and said really nasty things because I'm female.
Right.
And I'm no modern day feminist really, but like some of the things I saw online, I was all, whoa,
Right.
they
Yeah.
really hate women. Dang. Um, so she has to like really acknowledge that she's going to be exposing, like putting her feelings on the line for the world, whatever art she does, and to not care about the world at all. And I had to learn that myself. And that's been hard. That's been one of the things I've gone through. And this book is a good way for me to like push through that and be like, I really don't care. It's
Yeah.
called Boobs. I really, really don't care. Let's cement that while we can. So her art is the most important thing, and she needs to find whatever makes her happy, because that's what makes good art.
Right.
That's the only thing that will make good art, and that's the only thing that will make her want to keep going, is for her to find exactly the spot she fits in. And there is a lot of success to be had. You can go on Etsy, you can go on crowdfunding websites, you can just like her fans that she builds by just like being an active artist over the years will support you. There is a demand for good art, so she will find her way. But let her know, especially because she's young now. She's 16. Girls, we like to worry about what other people think. To go into this not caring what other people think, and to be able to have a bit of a backbone and shut that off and just focus on art. That is the best advice I can give her right out the gate.
Hopefully I've instilled that in her. And like that's the idea as a dad. Hopefully I've instilled that in her. And you're absolutely right. You know, you talk about this comic coming in and how I feel like you're a little bit modest about it, to be honest with you, because we have a lot of people come on here and a lot of Kickstarters. I'm looking at almost $20,000 for your first issue, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot higher than a lot of Kickstarters I see coming in. So I've got to give you props for that, because it looks like you are kicking ass with this. The artwork is fantastic. I'm not sure of the storyline yet. I didn't get to read the first issue, but I'm probably going to buy the first issue because it looks intriguing. I mean, I'm a guy and it's boobs, and the storyline along looks intriguing. But I've got to give you kudos for that, because I mean, I do not see a lot of creators come in here that have, at least in their first issue, that much money coming in. Like, this has got to be something really, really good going on, and I've just got to give you props for that.
Thank you. Well, here, I'll do a little dust off my shoulder.
There you go.
She's like, I still got 1 week left. Things could happen. You don't know what's going to happen yet.
Hey, 25 by the end of the week, it looks like, especially with these 15 listeners that are going to listen to this and check it out. So there you go. I guarantee they'll buy into it. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see creators doing their own thing, and that's kind of my big thing. Is me personally, I'm an okay artist, I'm an okay storyteller, but I'm not very good at either one. But I'm a good talker. Like, I can speak pretty well, especially when I haven't drank too much. I can speak pretty well.
Hence
but
podcasting.
that's the thing. So podcasting is kind of my thing. Like, I should have gone into radio is my thing. But
radio's fun.
I just want to promote people to do things they love, because you can make money doing things you love. And it's not even a matter of making money. It's a matter of putting something out there people love. I've done this show for 4 years, and I've always gone with the mindset of, I don't care how many people listen to it. I want to have a good time with my friends talking about things I love. And as long as you can do something like that, then it's fantastic. And this comic looks really, really cool. Like I said, I want to make sure that I have all the contact information so people can check it out in the show notes. But I wanted to ask you, how far? You said you wanted to go 8 books into this. How far have you planned this out? Like, is this a story you have planned out long time away, or are you just kind of rolling with the punches and kind of picking things up as they go?
No, I do have 8 very solid issues written in my head. And then I have explored beyond that. It could definitely go beyond that. But we'll see what happens. It's not about the money for me either. And I think that's actually what's made it so fun, is that like I was so nervous to launch this because I had no idea how it was going to be received. But I think it's the fact that I really do want to have fun, and it is so much fun. And there's a lot of like outside interaction that happens. like I interact with people a lot and have been for months about this book, especially that I've followed my stuff for a long time. And it's like a really cool, feels like a reunion, like a coming together.
Mhm.
So I didn't quite enter, and push live on my campaign in the dark void. Like I've been, building relationships with people for a long, long time over the past 9 years, fans and people all over the country. So it's been like a big party. It feels awesome. And I've really put a lot of thought into it though, because I didn't know. I guess I thought I I just wasn't sure how it'd be received. There's a lot of questions about the book, like, oh, what about Me Too? Oh, boobs, are they biological? Like there's a lot of controversy that could be had, but actually I haven't seen any. Like everybody's just having a blast. And I'm like, that's awesome, because that's exactly what I wanted. And I've been so nervous, in fact, that like I decided that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it like 110%. So the storyline, I have really put a lot of effort into making as the best I could be. Like I'm not just going to do boobs, I'm going to make the best story ever.
Yeah, hell
That was
yeah.
my thought. So
Yeah.
8 issues is solid, very solid 8-issue story arc. Then we could go on from there. But I'll say the first issue is just a lot of fun, and then you'll start, as the story progresses, it starts to get like deeper and deeper and deeper into story mode. So yeah, boobs is for everyone. I want to make that abundantly clear, and it's just a whole lot of fun. Yeah, did I answer the question, or am I just rambling?
No, you answered great, and I have to agree with your final point. Boobs is for everyone. They're fantastic. So it's Ross. Do you have anything you want to say?
I do. You just described something that I've heard a lot of people talk about. I had the question that I planned on asking you, but the fact that when you get together and start doing a Kickstarter, it does seem like it's a party, because it seems like it's got a timeline and you don't know which way it's going to go. It could be really good. It could be really bad. The cops could show up. Who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
But what you have not talked a whole lot about is your background with having 9 years coming into this. What have you done, and where have been the positive things that have kept you moving forward to create something on your own like this?
There haven't been many.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
been
well,
like,
it's got to be
but
something.
If there haven't been many, it doesn't show because it
it's
looks good. Yeah.
I just love art. That's the
Okay.
most positive thing. That's like the only really really backbone of it all. Like the underlying common denominator under the whole 9 years has been just that I love to do it. And I've been drawing since I was a kid. So I always, and it's funny because ironically my parents really pushed being an artist on me, but I didn't want to be an artist. I wanted to be a scientist.
Okay.
Very, very avid scientist. I love science and I love math, strangely.
You like
but
facts, basically
I
what it sounds like. Yeah.
I love math. I'm kind of like equal.
Yeah.
There you go. Equal right left brain.
Yeah.
I think math is actually very creative. It's very beautiful when you get into it visually. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like a dream come true, I guess. And then I did a lot of years in marketing, and I guess there's kind of the golden nugget you were looking for underneath it all. I have a lot of marketing experience. So I went from being an artist child, and my parents were like, "You're going to be an artist." And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'll be a scientist." And that didn't work out. And then I had a real kind of rough childhood, teenage years, really difficult, lot of family drama, a lot of trauma. And then I got into marketing, and I like really had to fend for myself. And oops, shoot. Is it still on? Oh, my
still
StreamYard
on.
just crashed
You're good.
again
You're
on
good.
my computer. My computer is possessed. Okay. Anyway,
You're good.
the AI, it knows I was talking about it.
You started this. You did it to yourself.
That's right.
I did. That's the golden nugget, is the marketing experience. So like and then I like built quite a few years of really professional marketing experience. And then when I got into comics, it was like, oh, I could be an artist, but for real, I could do this because I love it. I think I can, right? I think I can. But then the marketing aspect of comics was awful. There was no structure. There were no like contracts, no good deadlines. Like everybody was all over the place. There was no ladder to climb. It was a marketing and structure nightmare. So it was very abrasive to my work experience to up until that point. And so I guess I just want to kind of like use the best of both worlds now because marketing is very creative. And I kind of figured that out. I kind of figured like, hey, if I have my own book, I could do all my own marketing.
Right.
I could write this story. It's like a whole round, complete circle of my own creative freedom. I can wake up, I can make bedazzled boobs if I want to. I can make a silicone boob necklace if I want to. I can make a bedazzled hat if I want to. And
Yeah.
and I can do anything I want to make people happy and also draw. So that was it. It was just my love of wanting to be creative that pulled me through because there was really no good, not really great experiences with the industry and how it currently operates. Like pretty much none. So there was that.
Sounds like you Batmaned it. Sounds like you definitely got all
Yeah.
your tools and your weapons together, and then you just basically went out and started fighting. And so
Well,
that sounds like what you did.
That's
It's a-
cool.
Yeah, it's a fantastic testament to if you love something, like we're in a day and age right now where
Set them
you can-
free.
Yeah.
See, we can do this
you
all
can put it
day.
out there. Like seriously, you can do something you love, and there's going to be a lot of other people out there that love it too.
Yeah.
You know, so do what you love. If you have a passion for something, go out and do it. That is really the big message I see here because it looks like you put your heart and soul into this, and you have been pushing this forward. Man, I'm telling you, I keep looking at that number for your Kickstarter, and I am so impressed every time I see it.
Thank you.
I see a second season or a second series of Boobs coming out based on these first numbers.
I can't wait for that. That would be
Yeah.
a blast.
I would love it. Absolutely. Love it.
Who has helped you? Go ahead and name drop the people who have helped you bring this thing to light.
Helped me. Well, the fans most definitely. I'm gonna go over here to my phone charger because technology's at it again. But don't worry, I have a good phone charger. Fans. Frank is an awesome fan. He's the founder of the Bras is what the name is. Bros Reading and Supporting is the acronym, or Babes Reading and Supporting. So he's awesome. He's a writer himself, and he writes his own books and has a book going on. There's all kinds of fans I could name. There's Charles Tillery. He's on Twitter. He just had a poem published in the Raven Review. There's a bunch of usernames I could spout off. There's Scott in Phoenix. He's been with us for years, following our stuff. There's a lot of people, and it's really mostly fans. As far as creators, there's been a couple that have like stood out in the darkness that have defended me too when things have gone south, but it's very few and far between. I just talked to Jeff Lafferty again the other day. He's awesome, and he's always been very positive towards me. But we haven't had much communication. It's been just a couple brushes here and there, but he's been positive. Tim Lim has been a positive creator that's been somebody I aspire to because he just does his own thing too, and he's very positive, and he has a lot of success. That's kind of like it. As far as there might be missing one or two, but like truly, I got into the industry after being like so excited I could draw again, but actually for a living. Like I was like, oh, I'll give this a chance. And then the first gig I had, I colored a piece for a very prominent creator, and I don't name drop and talk crap about people, but he ripped me off. He took my signature off, and then that was it. So it was like from the very first gig onward, it was doomed. So it's just been like the fans. It's just been the fans. So people like you who like give me the time of day, you guys are who I thank. You guys are who make this possible. So 100% to the hands of the people who love boobs and who just want to have good entertainment and books. That's the most important thing.
Sorry, my dog's barking.
Continue to wish you the best of luck because, I mean, just going to go ahead and say it. The more hands that you can get boobs into, the better you're going to be. And you got 8 issues. I want to see all of them come to light. I think that, I mean, the artwork, I want to know the story. Like, I love the stuff that I've seen. I love what you put on the screen for me now, and then eventually more to come. So best of luck with that. And I mean, you got 1 week to go.
Yeah.
You
Let's
can still
talk about
keep
that
climbing.
actually. Let's talk about that. So you got 7 days left on this Kickstarter. 389
Mm-hmm.
backers, about to be 390 because I'm about to back this project too. Almost $20,000 in backing. So I think we're looking good for colored issues, and looking into the second book. So 7 days to go. When does your next Kickstarter start for episode 2 or issue 2? Excuse me.
So my marketing gene's kicking in, and I like to do like holiday releases or themes or times of the year. So the next book would go really well around Halloween. I already figured that, especially all the jokes with the booze and the boobs. Like, there's a lot that could be played with there. So I want it to be in people's hands by Halloween. So that means So I got 7 days, and then I'll be shipping and fulfilling and sketching. I have to do like 35 sketches after the campaign closes, and I get the sketch covers back. So I bet that's going to take me about a month and a half, maybe less, to get all of it sent out, and then it's immediately into the next one. So if I'm going to have it in people's hands, I'm guessing end of July, beginning of August, I will launch the pre-launch page, and then 30 days after that we'll go live. So it's definitely happening this year. The artwork is already done. And that happened because the first book was supposed to be, the script my husband initially wrote was the first book and second issue, but I expanded it and put all this character development in it. So now it became 2 issues because it was too big. So that's why that happened.
That's actually another point I wanted to hit on with you, is that this is a project from you and your husband, which I love. I love the husband-wife team up for the whole project, because I would love. I'm not creative enough. My wife may be, but I would love for us to be able to team up with something like this. But I love the aspect of homegrown. Me and hubby doing this and rolling, like it's really, really cool. So is he doing all your writing? Like, are you doing the art and the lettering and everything else?
He wrote the initial script, and then because of all of our bad experiences, like, he wasn't sure if he wanted to get back into comics. And I started this book. We started it 2.5 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've had a run in. We used to go to shows all the time, and people have just been a pain in our butts. So other creators and such.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was kind of like, this is a toxic place. I really don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I'm like, well, I can't blame you. I really can't blame you. But I still had this book, and I knew it would be fun, and I didn't want to give up on the book. So he wrote the initial script. He passed that to me. Then he went off busy working, and I had a baby actually between now and when I started this book. And I just kept working on it, like every night that I could, which was most every night. I would just sit down and I'd work on it. And he's been out of the loop until kind of recently, and that's been fun to like expose what I have done to him with his book. And it's made his view of comics become more positive again, which is awesome, because he's a lifetime comic fan. But because of all the crappy media, it's really kind of turned him away from that, plus all the toxic experiences and publishers that I've dealt with. He's kind of the type to be like, nah, wash my hands of it. That's enough. Let's move on. So that's what he did. And I've just been hanging on to this book. And so I've written it too. So it started out with him as the writer and me as the artist. But now I'm also the co-writer now. I've written through the 8 story arcs. So, and now he's in the other room probably working on a script for another book. So we're back at the husband-wife team thing again for a bit. And he's already got a book in mind that he'd really like to do too now, which is actually a really good idea. So I'm behind him on that. We've at least have 2 more titles we could do. So
when you get them ready, let me know. I'm totally down to promote them. Like, just let me know. Hit me up. You got my email. But no, I love the idea of the husband-wife thing. I understand your husband's point of view from the aspect of buying and like reading comics. I haven't dealt with the publisher type stuff yet. Maybe I will with my daughter in the future, but I haven't really dealt with that yet. but I do understand what he's saying, and it's why I'm loving promoting independent creators like yourself that have fantastic content that need support. Actually, I'm not gonna say you don't
Don't
need a lot of
need.
support. You've got quite a bit of support. So, but that every bit of support helps. Let's put it that way. And I would love to see this get bigger going forward. I love the idea. Let me know if you have stuff in the future you want to promote, because I'm definitely down to talk to you in the future and get some
Awesome.
stuff going.
Thank you.
Ross, do you have anything else you want to ask Mindy?
I love the communal atmosphere that Kickstarter has brought, and how it has definitely helped independent people come out with some very awesome things. So I wish you the best of luck, like I said, with this, and keep on keeping on, as the old dirt says. Just keep making it, because I mean, like Greg already said, and like you already know, we have so many people on here that just have ideas, and it's just like wildfire catches, and it's just so fun watching everyone enjoy their passion projects. I'm a passionate person. I love when people bring that kind of stuff to the forefront in their life. So
That's cool.
like I said, best of
Yeah.
luck to you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that how political too the industry has gotten. It's really kicked away people who just want to do this for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. Crowdfunding brings that back to where
Yeah.
people can actually do it for fun again. And I think we'll see a lot more popularity shift towards those independent voices for sure. So I appreciate you guys. You guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
awesome. And I'm sorry for all the technical glitches.
No, trust me, that
We
is
have plenty
nothing
of our own.
abnormal. Nothing abnormal for this show at all. I really appreciate you coming on, Mindy. I'm going to put all your contact information in there, but just anybody listening who's not going to check out the show, where can they find you if they want to find your stuff?
Pretty much across the board. I'm / Mindy Wheeler Art, or at Mindy Wheeler Art. Twitter's been hiding my boob sketches lately. They have figured out that the word boobs.
You did it with AI. You did this to yourself.
That's true. It's true.
For real. So you can find me on Twitter. You can find me there. But lately I've just been telling people they kind of hide my work sometimes. Even though I don't post anything too not safe for work, it's generally pretty tame. But then Facebook as well, and Instagram. I think Instagram is probably my favorite just because it's all visual, and then YouTube. So I'm all around. Yeah, just come find me, and I'm happy to talk anytime. I'm happy to crack jokes too. There's a lot of people that have a lot of funny things to say about this book, so join in on the fun because it's a blast. That's what it's about.
Well, Mindy, thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I cannot wait to check out the first issue of Boobs. I'm trying to look through the different tiers here to figure out which one I want to buy, but you'll definitely be having a purchase from me soon, because I got to figure out what's going on with the story. Like,
Awesome.
I got to figure out what's going on with the story, and we've got at least 8 issues to
Yes.
check out, and then after that, fingers crossed, season 2. We'll see what happens. But
That would be awesome. I could do that. The villain comes into issue 2, so stay tuned. Issue
Yeah.
1's a lot of fun, but you'll really see some development in number 2. So I appreciate that. I hope you do. You have any questions, you let me know because I'm
I will.
here.
Mindy,
Awesome.
thank you so much, and I
Thanks,
will talk to you
guys.
soon. All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See
Bye.
you later.
Fun times.
And you got the co-writer coming on and talking about it.
Yeah.
40 different
Mike,
kinds
I
of
love your stuff, man. Mike is Mindy's husband, and he is, I guess, the writer of this story. And it's really fun. I'll be backing you pretty soon. So, let me know whenever you guys have more stuff up, because I want to promote it. I love promoting, this kind of thing. So, Ross, what's up, man? Oh, wait, there we go. What's up, man?
Dude, it's been a breath of fresh air not having to be committed to so many different hard shows lately. I mean, things have been I go back to what I've already said multiple times to you, and that it's going to be nonstop fun season when it comes to things to watch, and you're never going to be left wanting. and you get one down week before we start the next thing of all the shows coming out and movies.
Well, we fall into a lull of kind of, we had 2 finales last week, so we dropped 2 shows from the 3 we were covering, so it really just cuts out 66% of your content right there on a show like this. 10 Tizzy says, "What's up? What's up, man? How you feeling?" "I'm feeling good, buddy. Ready to talk about some shows."
Dizzy tizzy.
But, the
What up,
thing
man?
is, like, there's always in pop culture and media, there's always something to talk about. We discussed having like top 5 reviews, doing a retro review of a movie, which if we need to, we will at some point in time because it's always a fun time. You can make good content with
Want
it.
to, not need to, want to.
Right. Yeah, there you go. But you were talking about how like it was kind of relaxing this week. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was catching up on Sweet Tooth this week. So you've been telling me for weeks, and per usual, Ross is right. Like, I've known this guy my whole life. And I probably couldn't count the number of times on my hands this guy was wrong when he told me something, to be honest with you. Like, that's what it is.
I
He
would
said watch
challenge you,
Sweet
but I
Tooth a
don't feel like
long
taking the time to do so.
he told me to watch Sweet Tooth a long time ago, and I was like, I'll get to it. I had a break this week, not a lot to watch. I watched Sweet Tooth. I have not gotten into season 2 yet, but I've completed season 1.
Who was it Pickle you were talking to on Twitter? He was
No,
asking
it
you about
was
it.
not Diesel Skills. I can't Delisto. One of the oldest fans of actually back when we were Super Civil Servants podcast. One of the first fans. I believe he was the one talking to us about it. So but yeah, it's he asked me about it if I'd seen it. Ross had been mentioning it a long time. We didn't have a lot of content, so I spent this week watching Sweet Tooth. And let's just start the show out with that. We'll do what we've been watching and everything else later, but Sweet Tooth it's a good show. I'm trying to describe it to my friends, and they asked me how adult it was. And I'm trying to figure out a show to compare it to. Because when first thing comes to mind, it's a CW show. But it's not as cheesy as a CW show. So I can't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I can't say CW show. It's the first thing that comes to mind. Then I think, okay, like Indiana Jones, serious maybe, like adult, but still fantastical. Like I don't know how to describe this show. It's a good show, and I'd recommend people to watch it. I wouldn't say it's a show you have to check out. You can't miss this. But if you got free time, it's a good show to watch. But I cannot place like a show to compare it to as far as maturity level to put it on.
Well, I think that right there is a good sign to begin with,
Okay.
but because it stands, league of its own. If I were to describe this show, I would not
Great
use
movie.
other things to talk about. What essentially would just come to say is that you're going to watch a show that covers the digression of, it's not even digression, it's child innocence and how it digresses, really is what it is. And what you're doing with that, you have a Netflix budget. It was like there was nothing in this show that felt like it was CW-ish to me. There was nothing that felt like it was, I hated Wheel of Time. I didn't hate it. I didn't like Wheel of Time on Amazon because it didn't feel right. Willow didn't feel right. There's a bunch of things in the cinematography that didn't feel right. Nothing in this show didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So when you take the idea of it's child innocence and it's end of world scenario, and not to mention it's so in the wheelhouse of COVID, but done in a different era, like done in a different way, not era, done in a different manner, to where it takes, you say fantastical, but I mean it takes that just fake world that you can live in and bathe in and be okay in and roll in a blanket and cuddle fucking with, because that show does it so well. And so many pieces start to fit together, and you're just like,
Good story.
what is happening here?
Yeah.
And like, is
Good
this
story.
how it's happening? And they
Mhm.
set you on so many paths that you feel like you want to be able to tell what is already happening, because I'm horrible about that. I've been told countless times I'm horrible. How did you know that was going to happen? Because it's in the story. If you
Right.
paid
Because I've
attention
seen,
to the
yeah,
third
because
episode, it was, yeah,
we're
I've
professional
watched enough
fans.
TV.
We're
Exactly.
professional fans, man. We've seen this enough times. Yeah. All stories are the same. They're like every story you have out there is based on like 10 main stories in human history. And they're just kind of altered. Like,
Yeah,
seriously, go
more
back
or
and look at it.
less.
Every single one of them. All right. Okay. I want to specify real quick. Okay. The CW thing, when I said that, what I meant was there's not drinking, smoking, sexuality type thing like that. I didn't mean
Okay.
like the level of cheesiness. I meant like it's
Kid
like
safe.
that. Yeah,
It's
kids
kid
safe.
safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the production value is way better. I just figured out it's Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter style universe where I am immersed in this universe and I can feel like this is real, but it's not like I don't have to have sex, I don't have to have drugs or violence to make it real. Like it's real. Like I can be in this universe and just kind of immerse myself in this universe. So I'm comparing it to like a Harry Potter type universe. If you like Harry Potter, I feel like you'd like the series. That's
Yeah.
my final resting point right
They
there. Yeah.
don't put you in positions to where you would feel like, in this type of dystopian future, there isn't a need to survive through like hoarding yourself out, more or less, right?
Right.
All of the situations they put you in are very much safe, very much PG, very much like you don't have to kill someone at every left, right turn.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very easy. And so that goes, actually, that stands true to the storytelling of how well it is, because you don't even feel like it's necessary in this show.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
I don't
you
need
don't
it.
feel like
Right.
someone has to do that. Whereas we've watched tons
Mm-hmm.
of things to where it's the worst of humanity on screen, and you're like, yeah, that might be how it would actually be.
Right.
This gives you a totally different perspective, and the fact that they tell it, that's why I was saying it gives you that child innocence, because they tell it from that point of view, to where you have Gus, who's the main child in this story, how he really grew up in a very sheltered universe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to understand that he wasn't the only one, that just like with any other show that we've ever watched, when it comes to when the world ended, you then had XYZ. So like
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us, right? None of those kids grew up with a normal childhood. None of those kids did certain things, but it had a totally different vibe. This show has a very fun, easygoing vibe, and not in a way that it makes a lot of people turn off. Like, this is a
Yeah.
DC story,
Yeah.
a comic that ran for I'm not even know how long, and when they brought it to screen, it just worked. I told you I wanted you to watch it because it just worked. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't need anything to it.
Well, so like I watched the whole thing mostly on my phone, because when I watch it on my phone, I can watch it at 1.5 speed, and I can still catch everything that's going on and have a good time watching it. So I watched it on my
You
phone
miss all the
mostly.
songs. The
But
soundtrack's so good.
it's a good soundtrack. You're right. But I'm watching the last 2 episodes last night when Ashley comes home, and I'm playing a game of Dice Throne with some of my friends. Because I love Dice Throne. It's a phenomenal dice card game if you like dice and card games. And the last episode's on, and I noticed that Ashley is like wrapped into this show. She can't pull away from what's going on. I'm like, that's good. She's watching the finale right now for the first time. First time she's ever seen anything of it. She's watching the finale, and she's wrapped. I told her, I was like, you should check the show out. You'd really like it. So I think she may watch it too. It's just weird, man. It's very, very, it's a difficult challenge to see a show attack and do really well without the main things that nowadays in our society are what you need for success. Big special effects, sexuality, action scenes, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying there's not action scenes in this, because there are. There are fights, there are action scenes, everything else. But it's cool to see that you can tell a good story without having all that stuff like have to be displayed on screen. And I love it. Like it's hard to find something like that nowadays, because that kind of stuff is put into everything nowadays. And don't get me wrong, we just did a review of Boobs. I love seeing a beautiful woman, and that does not mean that when I see a beautiful woman that I think that's all she is a beautiful woman. I'm sure she's much more than that, and I'm sure she's very talented in a lot of different things. Okay, so that is not what I'm saying, but two things can be true. You can be beautiful and very good at a lot of other things as well. So the fact that they can take that out of this show and still have me intrigued in what's going on means a lot in this day and age, because it
Absolutely.
feels like it's almost what you've got to have it now in this day and age. And I feel like that's kind of one thing that separates Star Wars from me is Star Wars never puts the sexuality into Star Wars. You know, like there's never that. I don't want to say when I look at Bo-Katan, I don't think she's hot, but there's never that that like scene that I'm like, oh well, I've got Carrie Fisher above me behind the wall. I can't really say a whole lot, but it's not the golden bikini scene. It's just her. So, I mean, it's just weird, man. It's weird to see a show do this well and not have any of that, because even shows like Umbrella Academy, you know, that I would say is kind of similar to this, but maybe not a little more adult. You have those kind of aspects. Now we're going into a second season. I don't know what the second season is going to entail, but based on what they gave me the first season, I am really enjoying the show. You know, I think the first thing that really caught me was the guy who plays. We'll break into the episodes or the first season at least right now because I haven't watched the second one yet. I don't know how much you have yet. Have you watched any of it?
Halfway through.
Halfway through. Okay. So I'm gonna finish that by next week. But okay, so Bubba or Pubba, his father. The actor who plays him is the guy from Last Man on Earth, the guy who played MacGruber.
Yep.
I love him. I can't remember his name, but I love that actor. And I think that was really cool to see him do a different role than I've ever seen him in. And not only did he do a different role, he did a damn good job. Like, I think he did a fantastic job in this role. You get to see him through the first 2 episodes, and then you get to see him again, I think, in like the penultimate, like shortly. We're going full spoilers here.
Oh, is that the flashback scene?
Yeah, the flashback scene.
The trippy scene?
Yeah. So, but I mean, you know, I think he did a really good job in the show. I don't know if he's going to have any more scenes in the future going on, but really good. Big Man.
Well, hold on. I want to say one thing. Like, Will Forte, I believe is his name.
Yeah, his name.
When he is having his, because I've seen him do so many comical moments. Like he's a comedian, I think more or less by trade. And when you see him, I can't remember what show he was in, but he was, he has that interrogating scene, and he's just like being funny. And I don't know if it's just a skit. It's so good that when I watched this, I see him have the potential to go to that place, but he sells me on this character.
Yeah,
and he does it with all the things that we find out as the season progresses. Really help concrete that one night that he had with Birdie, or the doctor who had essentially brought Gus to life, and so that it I found myself easily lost in because of the story. And that's what I love about it. Like I mentioned earlier, the story is just that good.
Well, dude, I was 2 episodes in and I was like, oh, I got to find out if he gets to Colorado. Like, I texted you after 2 episodes and I was like, yep, I'm hooked. I got to find out if he gets to Colorado or not. Like, this story has got me right here. They do a good job in the first few episodes of really, really fleshing the story out. And I like how you're really telling like 3 different stories that all tie together at the end of the season into one. And I love how it all tied together too, because you can see it when it happens. You're like, oh, that's the moment right there. I thought they did a very good job. I don't know. They don't give you a ton of history about what's going on with the hybrids. So I'm talking to guys at work, and I case right next to a guy at work, and him and I always discuss Netflix shows we watch. And not Netflix, but just streaming shows we watch. Like every day we're coming in, oh, did you watch this? You watch this? And we're going back and forth. And I told him, I was like, have you watched Sweet Tooth? And he said, no. He said, I've heard things about it, but I haven't really watched it. And so I started describing it. I was like, well, it's a post-apocalyptic show. And he was like, stop right there. I'm watching it tonight. So I feel like, because I'm kind of the same way too. This show didn't advertise enough. to be insanely popular. Now, don't get me wrong; it's
You're
very
not
popular.
wrong, but I advertised it to you more
You
than
did,
enough.
you did, but this show did not advertise strong enough. This is a post-apocalyptic mutant show, right?
Can let me say I would feel if I had to draw a parallel to the marketing scheme that this had, I would put it next to Sandman, and only because
The
it
marketing
is
scheme.
a
Okay, okay.
Netflix DC property.
Same was
But
Prime, right?
Sandman was on Netflix,
Same was on Netflix.
and
Okay.
see there you go. Like it came and went.
Yeah,
So that's exactly what this kind of did. Uh, Sandman only had the luxury of having the books and everything else to go into it, and they definitely advertised the living shit out of those books. So
they're good books.
yeah.
So okay, so second season dropped yesterday. You're halfway through it. So I don't want you to go into spoilers, but like just tell me, like, we leave on a big cliffhanger or we leave all the heroes kind of at peril at the end of the first season. Um have they stuck the landing? Like, is it good? Does it continue to be a well-written story, or is it, I hate seeing stories that have a really good first season and just kind of fall off after that. Flash.
It didn't fall. No,
But
I can definitely say like it didn't fall. Uh, Clearly, other people are much further along than I am, but I think that it did a good job. It has done a good job so far for me to continue to tell the story without telling me the story. Sandman was tough. I agree. I'm not a big Sandman fan.
the show is tough. The
Um,
book is good, yeah, but yeah.
so this show did a thing that I it has the storytelling device that I find very interesting, which is it's running in place. And it's
Mhm.
running in place meaning that there isn't a whole lot going on screen, but the story is just running, and it's all of that is happening in the background. And I think that that's going to uh, come to light in the second half of the first or the second season that I've yet to see. So I appreciate that, because what I really liked about the first season, I want to talk a little bit more about that, but what I really liked about the first season was that it kept pulling at all of these threads, and the second season continues to do that too.
Mm.
And those threads, tighten up, come towards the penultimate and the finale. So I'm good with what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah. Tin says he's kind of pissed to cast Lucy as a female. I'm assuming he's talking about Lucifer. Because he
Oh,
said
in the Sandman.
oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Lucifer was Gwendolyn Christie
In the first season?
in Sandman.
In Sandman? Was
Yeah,
that Gwendolyn Christie, really?
I thought, isn't that who they put that character in as?
I'd have to check. I wasn't sure. I'm not, but I would say I thought the first season was a guy that played Lucifer. I'm not positive, but
I
I could
thought
be
that
wrong.
the gatekeeper to the gates of hell was a guy, but essentially Gwendolyn Christie was Lucifer.
I could be wrong. And that's actually very possible. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
the big
it's
bitch.
a big bitch. Okay, so I guess it is what the Christie said. Yeah, look, Sandman's another show. Like I said, we've covered it. I haven't watched the third season yet. The third book has come out on Audible. I haven't bought it yet because I just
Wait a second, the second season
Bruh.
hasn't come out. Has the second season come out?
I don't. Well,
No,
maybe I'm wrong
they
about
only
that.
released
Maybe
the
it's
first
coming
season.
out. Maybe I saw a
Yeah,
preview for it, but
yeah, it says
um,
coming out. They get reserve the rights to it.
I'm probably gonna buy the next book, maybe next month. But look, and Ross, I told you about this before. I'm always coming in here talking about how I love the Thrawn series, the Thrawn trilogy. I didn't know there were 11 Thrawn books.
Really?
I didn't know that. I've read 3. Actually, I've read 4 books of the Thrawn, of the 3 trilogies and 1 duology. I've read 4 of those books. So I've read 1 complete trilogy, and I've read the first book of another trilogy. So I had like 6 Audible credits, and I just went ahead and bought the rest of the Thrawn books, every single one of them. So I'm going through the process of right now. I'm on Heir to the Empire and that trilogy, and I'm
Oh,
reading those.
that's
That's
what I
the
read
original
back in the
Legends.
day.
That's the
Yes.
original Legends one. Yes, the one that I read was what's considered the Star Wars one, which was the mid
canon
20
one.
the 20 teens, yeah, the canon
Yeah.
one. So it was set okay, so the one I read was set between it was set after Vader was Vader. So it was
Mhm.
more of Thrawn and Vader's association. The one I'm reading now is Thrawn when Vader is Anakin, and it's more of Thrawn and Anakin's association. The one that I haven't read that I bought is Thrawn with the Chiss, which is before he even really becomes part of the Empire, or before he walks into what is now the canon story of Thrawn becoming Grand Admiral Thrawn. So I haven't read those yet, or the duology, but it's funny because like I realized that and I was like, holy shit, I've got a ton more Thrawn to read, a ton more stuff to read.
Dude, I mean, if you haven't read the Mara Jade, like Heir to the Empire OG Dark Empire stories, like the old.
Well, I read Heir to the Empire, and that's the
Man,
first one of the second trilogy, or the first trilogy actually, that I've read.
it's
But
the
I'm
first one of the first
redoing
trilogy.
it.
Yeah,
I'm redoing it, and then I'm going to read the other two in that trilogy just so I have a refresher.
read the
But
whole trilogy. The whole trilogy
yeah,
is
you might
really
as well
good.
just do the whole thing.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Mhm.
I still own all those books somewhere, somehow, some way. But yeah. Uh, but to go back to storytelling, like I want to cover this real fast because I don't know if Sarah will ever watch Sweet Tooth. She'll have to find herself in the moment, which actually would be perfect for her and the kids to watch. But
Yeah.
um, I want to say, actually, I want to ask you, what did you think about this show and how it related to like our own current time frame with COVID and the shit that we go through? Because I'll give you a little bit of my light so you can think of an answer. I thought that what they did with it, I gotta be careful. I don't want to get into the second season. I thought what they did with correlating the disease is how it ended up killing people, but yet almost the answer and caveat to that was the creation of these hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the hybrids almost seem to be an evolution of how people could continue to survive
Mm-hmm.
if the world was at a point to where it was ending. And we are led to believe that the world ending is because of people. Like, like we've tarnished the world so much, it's like what comes next. um, it's just funny to me that you had a moment where you rounded the horn with people were having kids, and then the disease hit, and then like all the kids were hybrids. If anyone was having a kid, it was a hybrid.
Right.
And so that was very interesting. I liked the how to describe it. It's the enjoy the fact that like the hybrids all bring something, but we don't know what it is yet. But I'm completely disturbed by the normal human fact that we are essentially just pissed off because things are changing. And they
Right.
are out to kill like these hybrids, and we don't know what the that's not true. We do know what the purpose of them trying to kill the hybrids is. We don't know the extent of it yet. They're trying to find a cure, and it lies within the hybrids.
Right. Well, what I took from this show was they did a good job of showing how the world right now is
Fucked up. You can
confuddled.
say it. Yeah.
Or, yeah, I mean, it's just that everybody's focused on one thing, and the one thing they're focused on is not what we need to be focused on right now. And I think they did a good job of portraying that in this series without directly confronting that type deal.
Mm-hmm.
The lessons taught in the series is that the children are our future type deal is kind of what they're pushing forward, and I can agree with that. But they also have the look. He said confuddled. That's a yeah. Confuddled is a word. Look it up. Um, um, they do a good job of making me care.
Very
You
much
know,
so.
like I feel. Look, I couldn't tell you what the world would be like should there be an actual pandemic virus that strikes the world. I couldn't tell you what the world would fall to, especially based on what happened on the last virus that hit this world. Um,
Shit was a dry run, man. Like
yeah,
the next thing, the
it
real
was a
thing will
dry
be
run
bad.
that was really bad. And if based on what happened the last time that we had a virus that affected some people in the world, if there was one that really killed massive amounts of people, I I think that you would probably fall into a category like they are here, where it would be tribes, and
Always, yeah.
it's going to be a matter of survival. And I'm proud to say that I'm a guy that if shit hit the fan right now and did be like that, I'd be fine. I'm very proud to say that. But
It's because you own your
I
fucking
just feel
own
like they
animal farm, man.
I
Like,
do. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, man. Look, I could totally survive if shit hit the fan right now. I could totally survive. I'd be fine. But
yep, you and I both.
I just feel like they do a good job in this show portraying that, at least, because, like, once again, I don't know what the world will be like should something like that ever happen, but I have a pretty good feeling the predictions and what everybody shows in these shows with, like, Last of Us, you know, Falling Skies, every show where there's kind of some kind of a disease that takes over the world and most of population is eliminated. That's probably what would happen. Like what they show here, it's more than likely the way the world's going to be. I mean, it's just it's survival of the fittest. It's the way societies have gone the entire history of humankind up until the last 300-400 years. So realistically, it's not like it's something new. It's just new to us.
It comes down to the like how detrimental will the first wave be,
Hmm.
right? And then like what will it knock out, and then what will the second wave do, and then who will rise to power after that? Because that's essentially what the show shows you. You know, you got the it's it came out. I think it came out at no, it didn't come out after. It's almost the Sonic Jim Carrey bad guy character, right? You know,
Hmm.
bald beard, ruby red
Dr.
glasses
Robotnik.
for no
Yeah.
reason. Yeah, you know, and I mean, like, and I know the actor has done a few things. He's mainly a voice actor, but I mean, like, tell me he doesn't bring a presence to this show,
Mm.
and he does it in such a way that it's just like it feels easy. Like, man, like, when did you get so good at acting?
Right.
Um, but there's so many aspects like this show has that are like that. You know, I told you you're going to have James Brolin just
In my
narrating
head. Yep. And I
your
do.
life for the next little bit. He's just
And I
going to
do.
keep saying the same thing, and you said it right off the bat. Like, this is where my story begins, and
He
it,
delivered the mail
yeah,
at 311 North Main Street. This is
and
where
then
his
this is
story
where his story
begins.
began.
That's why I
Yeah,
started my day out the day. I was like, holy shit. What are you doing,
uh,
JV? Come on.
you know, the funny thing is that James Brolin plays a lot of very aloof characters. And so when you have him narrating and he gets very serious, you're like, wow. I will tell you, actually, I won't. I'll ask you about it after you watch the second season. Um, he's there in the second season, narrating still. And
Okay.
I, you know, it's so weird to have Thanos' dad narrating a DC comic book story, right? Like it's so crazy.
It's funny though, because like even though I hear that voice and I can tell as soon as I hear it, like who it is, most of the time I hear Thanos as soon as I hear that, but in this show I don't.
It's not Josh, it's his dad. Like, let's be
Oh,
very
okay.
clear about that.
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
Josh Brolin,
Maybe
it's
that's why I
James
don't then.
Brolin. It's
Maybe
his
that's why I
dad.
don't then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's probably why I don't. But no, you're right. I woke up this morning and I like woke up this morning. I got to my job this morning and got on my route, and I was pulling the car out and delivering the first bit, and I was narrating in my head with that voice, and I was like, "Yep, I'm hooked. The show's definitely it for me."
Yep.
Well, okay, I haven't gotten the second season yet. I'm gonna have the second season watched hopefully by next week, so we can cover the entire second season. You got half of it to go. Do you want to wrap this up on the end of the first season, and then we'll cover season 2 tomorrow? Season 2 came out yesterday on Netflix. The entire season drop, which I'm going to use it again, confuddled about this situation because like I hate having to wait a week to watch the next show, but I also hate
It's overwhelming.
an entire season coming out. It's
Yeah.
so crazy. Like I don't know what I want because I'm just like, okay, if we watch Peripheral, I would have much rather watched that all at once
It depends on
because
the
it
story.
was so confusing, right?
I
So
stand
confusing.
by it.
Yeah. But and honestly, I watched the entire first season of Sweet Tooth in like 2 days, so I can watch the entire second season probably pretty quickly too. But it's weird, man. It feels like I don't know. I guess it's mainly for content purposes, covering on the show. That I feel like I want more. I want longer because we're going to talk about Sweet Tooth season 2 next week and then be done with it. You know?
And you felt like already that the marketing was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. I wish they would have dropped like 3 episodes. You know, I'd have been happy with 3 episodes and then
I will
after
tell
that,
you,
do it weekly.
I can't complain with the way the Arcane came out. It did 3, 3, and 3.
Yeah.
And tell me if that's not like a damn near perfect style thing.
That was
because
pretty
it gives
good.
you that it's so good. I can't wait for that second season. But yeah.
I actually think that might be the ideal situation
Just enough
to drop. Yeah.
Like enough to keep you occupied, but like
Mhm.
not enough to make you be stuck inside on a sunny day all day to watch something.
Yeah. I think that's the measurement right there is 3, 3, 3.
And I mean that's what the Writers Guild is up in arms about is all these short seasons. But I'm with them, man. Like I want longer seasons of everything, but that's just me.
Well, I don't want longer seasons if it's going to mean a bunch of filler bullshit episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like give me 12 episodes of solid content. Don't give me 16 episodes with 4 more bullshit.
Well, like Mando was 8 episodes, right, this season?
Mm-hmm. It was.
I thought it was 10 the whole time. Because originally when they talked about it, it was supposed to be 10.
2 of Boba Fett was Mando.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
10, yeah.
There we go.
But yeah. Yeah, because I know you. Honestly, you're never really wrong about that kind of stuff. And you were like, "Wait, this is penultimate," and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty sure it is."
Yeah, because I hadn't gone back and updated it ever since then. I was working a lot, very long hours. But
I'm pretty sure I got lucky that night. But
the only thing I can talk about other than that, and we wrap this up, was Big Man and then the Animal Army. And what are your thoughts? And then we'll push on.
I like Big Man. I like the actor. I think he did a good job in the role. I like him as a character, and his story's good. Like I like the idea that they give him this football player background story, and he's a known guy from 10 years ago. But you got to remember, like from the first episode, the very first few minutes, the first episode of the show to where the rest of the show is, there's like a 10-year time jump. So I like that. Like even in the show, he's like, I know you. People are like, I know you, and he's like, oh, I didn't think you were a football fan. Like he was apparently a big football star that has gone through the ringer, that has gone through and done stuff that he doesn't want to do, and is now looking for the retribution. He's the retribution character in the story, and I love it. And I love his relationship with Tiger. But we'll get into Tiger when we talk about the Animal Army. But what do you think?
Big Man. Who did Big Man play for?
Was he a real football player?
No, in the show. Who did he play for? Him. They make a big point to say it a couple times.
I didn't even pay attention.
The Guardians. The Guardians.
Oh, the Guardians. Okay. Yeah.
Where do the Guardians play?
Is there a team called the Guardians?
It's DC Universe. Where do the Guardians play?
I don't know. I know the Gotham Knights play. I don't know the Guardians
Gotham City Guardians.
Oh, I know pretty sure the football team in Gotham is the Gotham Knights, but that's a college team.
Check
that's
out
a college
the Gotham
team.
City
So it could be you could be talking about pro and college. So
that was a real big drop, and I was like, "Oh wait, he said Guardians." I'm like, he didn't. I think he said something about Florida State, and then they're like, and then Guardians or like whatever. I think that was mentioned. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he was playing in Gotham, but
could be.
That was a thing. I like sci-fi. Duh.
Look, I could be very wrong about that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure my fantasy football team is the Gotham City Knights. Just because but I could be wrong about.
Well,
I'm
take us
pretty
into
sure.
the.
I'm pretty sure
I'll
it's a
look it up.
it's
Take us
it's a
into
college team. So into Titans.
no into what are you talking about? Animal Army.
Oh, Animal Army. Yeah. So Tiger and
A.
Bear, right? So basically, this is kind of this reminded me of Last of Us in the mall type deal. Like, so these kids are living in a amusement park, and it's honestly a group of kids who are orphans who are fighting for hybrid rights. Okay, so and you see in this from the very beginning, you see like distress among the ranks, where you can see that I guess Tiger is her number two and Bear's the number one who started everything. You can see some dissension in the ranks here because it looks like Tiger's going to turn on her at any moment, and of course, in the ultimate moment, she does in this episode. I think it was like episode 6 or 7, one or two. She turns on her, and then so now Bear becomes a main character, going with Big Man and Gus. But it's an interesting story. I mean, it shows the connection between Gus and Big Man. That's what that episode was for. Because it's
their turn of their story. Yeah,
right,
like it really worked.
Because it's his redemption. Because this is the point that he has to come to terms and tell him, "This is what I was," and Gus has to make the decision of, "Are you worth saving or not?" type deal, And he does. He kind of puts himself on the cross, I guess, if you will, to save him. So I like this show. I'm interested to see the next. Is it 10 episodes? The last second season?
I think so. Let's check because I'm already on part of it. 16 episodes, which means that the second season is only 8 episodes.
Okay.
So 8.
Okay. So it's actually shorter. So we'll see what happens. Hope this is not one of the Netflix cuts, but they like to do that a lot. 10 says, have y'all seen The Arc yet? He's 12 episodes in, kind of feeling it. And he wants to know, did you just Google The Arc, Ross? So 10, what is The Arc on? Like, I'm down to watch a new show, but I haven't heard of The Arc. Yeah. Is it ARK or ARC? I'm not sure.
Or it's K. I think I've seen it in the. Yep, it's K. It is a Peacock show, sci-fi Peacock.
I think I'm gonna buy Peacock, man. Like, cause it's $1.99 a month, and
it's got you right. It's got you. It's there because
it's there.
It was Cocaine Bear that made you turn, wasn't it?
Well,
Cocaine Bear was like on it, and you're like, I might want to see Cocaine Bear.
I do want to see Cocaine Bear. It's the Cocaine Bear, and I guess now that Ten's talking about the show, The Arc, and then there's another show that I saw earlier that I wanted to watch. I saw a preview for, and I was like, that might be pretty good. It's Mrs. Something.
New show. I know what you're talking about.
Mrs. Something. I can't remember what it is, but I was like, yeah, I might like that. I think I'm gonna buy Peacock, man.
Peacock is worth it alone just to watch Parks and Rec.
So
no, you go ahead and say
it. Yeah.
With all these boobs joke, go ahead.
Right.
You're gonna start leaning the other way. I see what's gonna happen now.
Yeah. He said, "Get on Discord. I'll send you the damn link." All right. Yeah, Tens always want me to get on Discord. The only thing I do on Discord is I call my buddies to play virtual card games. It's the only thing I get Discord for. That's my Discord purpose. So beyond that, I have no other social media other than Twitter. But all right, man.
I love the deep breath. What else do we have left? We have the show that you seem to be reluctant to talk about.
I'm not reluctant to talk about it. I'm just I'm wondering where this season is going. Okay, so obviously we're talking about Titans.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Look, I liked last episode with Beast Boy, giving me kind of this background of Beast Boy. I didn't understand the whole Doom Patrol aspect of the story in this episode. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of pissed if they were gonna do the whole Trigon thing again. I was like, come on, man. Like, give me something different. Then in this episode, it made it seem like they weren't doing Trigon. And I was like, oh, shit. they're fucking turning into the corner. I didn't see this coming. Then towards the end, it looks like they are doing Try God again. I'm like, God damn it. Like, come on, man. You had me. You had me back interested in this show to find out what was going on. Then it looks like you turn right around again and we're like, nope, sorry. So what do you think, man? Like, I think we have 2 episodes of the show left, right? Or 3? 2 or 3? This was episode
This was
8.
10.
Was it 10? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're only at 12. I think it's 6 and 6 is what the split
Okay.
was.
So we have 2 left. All right. So what do you think, man? Like, are you impressed with the show? And I say that because I want to go in with the mindset of I've got to believe they didn't think that coming into the season, it was the last season they were going to be here. And they are now trying to wrap up loose ends.
I feel like the writing would have been on the wall way beforehand, as
Right.
far as they would have known that the show would have been ending. They would have known, and I say that not because of anything specific, but more just because I feel like they. Let me just come out and say it. There's a moment in this show where you have Corey in the Doom Patrol mansion, and she has been brought there. And I don't want to jump too far ahead, but she's been brought there, and she's now in this realm that exists within the red, or whatever we're supposed to believe is what is happening. She's now in the Doom Patrol world,
Mm-hmm.
and she has this moment to where Gar is basically saying to her, "It's like, hey, maybe you need to find balance before we can go back and move on, or you can go back." When she finds balance, she's happy. And to me, that's a metaphor of the Titans. Because I'm not happy with what the Titans is doing in general.
Mm-hmm.
And when she finds balance, meaning the thing that's going to fix that, it's happiness. And her happiness literally makes me sit there and think, wow, I really may not be enjoying this show at all. Like, I'm not really positive what is happening right now. And so there's so much that stands out to me in this show, and Titans keeps doing this to me. It doesn't have the grade A casting, but it has very good casting. It doesn't have the grade A special effects. It's decent. It's got fantastic suits. I mean, I think they could be a little bit better, but I mean, I think that they're like 85, 90% of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when it comes to the storytelling, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I agree.
You're going to have Superboy shave his head and he's now Lex Luthor. And I know that there's going to be a redemption arc there. Like, you have to, or else it doesn't work storytelling. What is going on?
No, I agree. And I was pissed with the Connor story arc up to this point. And quite honestly, in this episode, they made it seem like he's been doing this kind of undercover to take care of, Brother Blood himself. And like when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. It's not going to work because this is not the finale, but I do kind of like that. I don't know how to feel about Connor's character right now. It's very conflicting. Like I want to like him, but I want to hate him at the same time. So I don't really know like what I can do with this character.
Yep.
Damn it! There was one specific point I wanted to make, and you reminded me of it when you were talking about your last soliloquy there, or your last comment there, and now I've forgotten it, and it's gonna come back to me. There's definitely a point.
We'll walk the story. We're gonna start off at the top of this thing. Gar's back in the mansion. They're not only in the mansion; they're apparently trapped. They can't get out.
Mm-hmm. Well, not the mansion, his house.
Yeah. Well,
correct.
Yeah, because they said it's not our house.
Right, it's not our house. It's his house. So they're trapped in his house.
Right.
So he's moved the entire Doom Patrol.
Apparently so, which is weird. Like I'm trying. Like, you want to worry about timelines and multiverses and all that kind of stuff. This X's out all the rules, and you just have to believe it, or else it doesn't work.
Well,
If you go into this trying to combat it, like it doesn't work.
yeah. Well, can I ask? In the point we're in with Doom Patrol right now, isn't Cyborg not Cyborg?
Yep.
But in this show, he is.
So it seems
So all I wanted to, I saw that and I was like, wait a second, wait a
he's got
second.
that synth skin was his next big thing, right?
Yeah.
So, we move on to Connor taking over Daddy's business. You know, he's
Awesome
coming
business
up.
cards. Yeah.
He's literally talking about like how he's going to bring Sebastian in. He's grooming Sebastian. He makes all these things happen, and then he's like, you know, he's trying to get into his head, and he truly does, because you know Sebastian goes and sees his mom, and then he ends up roasting her
Horribly.
figuratively,
Figuratively. I was saying,
literally,
you see her later. Yeah.
figuratively, every way possible. He's like,
Mhm.
I hate you. Like, you're not my mom. And then just like, and then like fucking relatively kills her. We know at the end that doesn't work.
I like that though in this story. Like that made me
Yeah.
feel like, okay, they're turning away from Trigon right here. But keep going.
It sold the episode, is what
Mhm.
it did. It sold the episode as it was. Then you go to the Titans. You're talking about Dick and Corey are talking about trying to sideline Rachel, and it's not like it's anything personal. It's like, look, like whatever happens to you happens to him, and if we kill him, that means we kill you. So we got to figure out a way around this. Dick makes it a point to be like, I got to make a long distance call.
Ooh, that
Next
was what
thing
I
you
want to
know,
bring up.
go.
Do you know who that call was to?
Well, I'm assuming. I
It's
can
got
only
to be
make so many
Constantine.
assumptions.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah,
Constantine, right?
it's
Well,
got to
when he
be.
said London, I was like, okay, it's a Wonder Woman or Constantine, one of the
Mhm.
two. Then
And it
when
was
it
a
was
he.
about dark magic, I was like, okay, it's Constantine. And especially
Mhm.
whenever he said the Constantine line from the movie, into the light,
Oh,
I
yep.
whatever. Yeah, like I was like, okay, Constantine. There you go. Into the light of summon thee or something like that. Yeah, he says to it. Yeah. I was like, okay, Constantine. There you go. Sorry, good.
No. At that point, Corey goes to the mansion. We get that whole little split, and then Sebastian shows up in his what they call it, programmer's playground, I think is what they called it. His
Yeah.
little, you know, he's got well, apparently he has two offices. He has a workspace and he has an office. His workspace just has like, you know, 19,000 monitors for no reason, because he wants to see everything that's going on. It reminds me of that scene from the Dark Knight, when he's sitting there looking at all of like
Yeah.
the Sonic things.
Mhm.
But then he gets weird and he just like puts his hand on it and it's like blood, right? And then like he's just gonna like inject his weird blood magic into a computer screen, which doesn't fucking work because DNA doesn't translate to ones and zeros.
Look,
But hey,
on every single television show or movie you ever watch, whatever phone or computer or tablet screen you see, the interface will work for whatever purpose they need it to work for right
I
then.
know.
That is the way it works. Like those rules are so fluid. You just have to be on a screen and have electronics,
Yep.
and you can do whatever you want to on the interface, and it makes sense for the show, and that's the way it goes. I thought about that earlier, and I was like, it's kind of crazy how every single time somebody needs to work on a computer, they know exactly what they need to do, and it works perfectly, and it looks nothing like a real computer, nothing like a real, at least the ones I've dealt with. So, but I always thought that was funny.
I want to be in this story, but it's the shit like that I'm just like, oh nope, can't do it. Can't. I can't do it.
Yeah. And honestly, if we can't pull this thread too hard because that kind of pulls away from the whole Picard finale. However,
Right.
they did a
Right.
much better job of that, of explaining that and weaving that into a story than they did in this one. So,
Ten's
look,
right. Yes, I know that you can turn DNA into ones and zeros. I'm being extreme with what I'm talking about. I know.
look,
There's a moment where you have it's the Dick and Rachel moment next. And then basically you have, oh my god, what do they call what's the woman's name that was there with them? Helena,
yeah.
who was there with them?
Mhm.
And she's sitting there trying to tell them like all the shit they need to know, and I'm like, no one is prepping these two for what
Right.
is about to happen. Like there
Right.
is no like book or manual on like what is about to happen.
I didn't like
It's
the idea of the blade will reveal itself whenever you when it shows him, I'm going to show you
yes,
how much you love her, and I'm like,
yeah.
okay, obviously I know this blade's going to come out at the end. Just show me the blade from the beginning, like seriously.
Here's the gun. It's got no bullets, but the bullets will be magic if you do it right.
Right, as soon as you make the right decision, it'll work. Oh wait, is it going to happen at the last second? Oh, what a surprise! Yeah, I okay. I mean, look,
And Mary
Titans.
didn't fuck anybody to have Jesus. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Let's throw it all out the window right now, right? I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, you're good,
It's
man.
hard to
Titans.
believe, is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. Titans has a tattered history of the series. Okay. They're wrapping up in 2 episodes. I'm based on what the last 2 episodes are is going to be my answer here, but I'm interested to see what my overall grade for the series is when it gets done. Because I've had some really high moments
Oh,
in the series,
they've been so
and I've
good,
had some really low moments in the
and that's
series.
like 90% of it is so
Yeah.
low. I
Yeah.
hate it.
So
Like it gives you what you want, but like it only does it in like drip dose.
I
Ah,
think most of these shows set up for a two-parter finale.
yeah.
If they're setting up for a two-parter finale, I don't know what's going on. Like they fooled me into being surprised in everything they do because I don't know what's going to happen next. But
I gotta tell you, I'm hoping that they have some sort of carry-on story that goes into Doom Patrol. I'm just not positive that they had enough forefront like thought to actually do so.
F that. I want a crossover, man. I want a Flash and whatever CW TV shows are still on, Stargirl, everything else crossover. Bring them all in. Let's do
If we're
this.
gonna have a crossover, I want to cross over into the Flash movie
Let's
because
just get
like let's just
totally
do that.
nuts before the Flash movie. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let's go absolutely insane, like the multiverse is exploding before the Flash movie. I'm totally down with that.
Why not? That's
Which
all I can say is why not? Like that is the way to go. Like
we would talk about
this
that
is the way.
trailer. Yeah, this is the way. We would talk about the trailer, but Ross has not watched the second trailer yet, and I can't blame him. But for those of you who have, I would say 75% new footage. Nothing that really I
75.
feel.
You up those numbers, man.
Yeah, it's like I said, I keep rewatching. I'm like, I don't remember seeing this before. It's 75% new footage, but not anything that spoils what I think would be a big reveal in the movie. How about this? I didn't learn anything new in the new trailer about the movie. I knew this and this and this was going to happen. I knew this and this person was going to be in there. I didn't learn anything new from there. I just saw new stuff. I can totally understand not watching the new trailer. Tim, we're talking about the new Flash trailer. I can totally understand not watching it because, hey, man, I'm ready for this movie too. I don't need to see anything else. It's sold. I'm going to buy the tickets as soon as they're available. But I caught the tail end of it, so I had to watch the rest of it. I wouldn't say it would spoil anybody if you do watch it. But once again, if you don't want to, I get that. Like, I feel
just
like
hate.
this is DC's moment to step back onto the stage and to really launch forward from here.
Yeah.
I loved where DC was with the Zack Snyder verse. I watched where DC was after that. And now I am full hearted into what's going on with what in the future, and I'm hoping that it works out well. Like I just don't know, man. Like I heard somebody talk about the Batman today, and like I don't know why. I just cannot get into that movie. I like The Long Halloween. It's not a terrible movie, but every time I turn it on, I just want to turn it off after like 20 minutes and watch something else. Like I'm
Wow,
just
that's
not.
crazy.
I'm not into it. And somebody said today that in a video I was watching about the review of the Batman, and maybe it's why I'm in it is Batman's not a very good detective in this whole movie. The Riddler strings him along the entire way, telling him everything he needs to know throughout the entire movie. Like Batman doesn't figure
You're
anything
not
out.
wrong.
So, and I didn't even realize that. So maybe subconsciously I was thinking that. And like I said, it's not a bad performance. I think that I was just so sold on Ben Affleck's on Batman that I'm not ready to let go yet. I still have a movie with him in it, you know?
One of my biggest critiques with all Batman movies is that we're not given enough time to see any of Batman development. Like, we're not given enough time to see how he turns into the great detective. We're not given that, and it doesn't build the character. Like, it doesn't give you the roots for the character, and you're not going to get it because I go back and forth all the time about what's better, TV or movies, and like you can flesh out more stories in TV, but let's face it, what makes money is putting it on the big screen, and so I I hate that for a lot of things, but I love it because I get a lot more stories that are really good on the small screen.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is going through this. When I hate to invoke the name yet again, but it's going through it because like they got shitty at telling big movie, big theme
They did for a
theatrical
little while.
stories,
Yep, they
and
did.
like they're really trying to come back from that. But you look at what we get on the small screen right now. Last week we had two finales of two shows, and I I'm not going to compare on which one was better, but I had so much invested in both of them. And now we talk about the Titans, and now it's tough, right?
All right.
So when you bring up something like the Batman, for you being such a big Batman fan, I don't think that I get that aspect of Batman. I think that it's severely lacking.
So, what are your thoughts about the Batman movie then? Like, where do you rank it? Where do you rank Pat Bat
Hmm,
on all Batman? That's a
Batman.
good baseline to start with. As far as just Batman goes, not the movie, as far as just Batman goes, look, voice, everything else. Because quite honestly, I was very critical of him, the way it looked, not the casting, the way it looked when we got the first images because they weren't finished.
Yeah.
Now, I have issues with the costume in the movie as far as abilities, but as far as looks go, I really didn't have a problem with the way it looked. I thought Pattinson had the square jaw. I thought he looked good in the cowl, and I thought the suit looked pretty good. It was creative. So overall, I didn't mind him as a Batman, but this movie didn't really kill it for me. So
All
what do
right. So I guess hot style take. Like I didn't have a problem with him playing Batman. I had a
right.
problem with the story that I was given of Batman.
Okay. So we're on the same page
Like
then. Okay.
my problem was I saw what they were doing with the Penguin, and it was timely, but
Mhm.
uh, it wasn't it wasn't grand. Like it didn't make you feel like it deserved the Riddler. Sorry, I didn't see what they were doing with the. I saw what they were doing with the Riddler, but I didn't like what they were doing with the Riddler. I didn't like how they were making it happen because when I say it was timely, it was definitely more us. Like you could see a noir style, very very dark story in where we are in our current life. Like
Mhm.
it was um, a certain type of like terrorism, that just was they were playing on. I could get that, but man, like it was there's so much more that you can do with it. And what I wanted to see was an evolution of Batman. I didn't need to see the pearls and everything else. I just needed to see the evolution of Batman. And I
Right.
didn't. I felt like even though they rushed it in Batman Begins, I got a little bit more of it in Batman Begins that I
Right.
wanted. I really like the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't think that it is without fault. I don't think that it doesn't deserve critique, but I really like it for a trilogy. I
Mhm.
think that the ending was way too rushed, but there's a whole lot of pieces to pick up after the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Um, for me, Batman can't be all big screen. You just can't get an actor to fill that role, tell the story in the true time that it deserves.
I agree.
Because unless you're going to pick some 20 something actor who can literally live with you right now until the time that he turns 60 or 80, and he's introduced to all these other characters, and he has had a lifetime of acting as Batman, and to where you can't separate those two characters in your head. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get the Batman story that I want, you know.
No, I totally get that, man. And the problem is, it's like Batman's too big. Okay, like they want to say Batman for the big screen, and quite honestly, I feel like this is the same problem you have with Superman too. I feel like Superman and Batman are too big in the DC universe to not be able to have them interchangeable within television. If you're going to have a multiverse, to not be able to have them interchangeable. Okay, Marvel doesn't have this problem. They only have this problem with one character, and that's Spider-Man. And guess what? They can put Spider-Man in fucking anything, and it's good. Just like DC can with Batman. They can put Batman in anything, and people are going to love it. Batman
Yeah.
and Spider-Man are the two top-selling superheroes for 50 years. Okay? People are going to go wherever Batman and Spider-Man go. But Marvel only has to do that with Spider-Man, and they've done enough with Spider-Man well where they don't have to do it every time for you to feel that way. Whereas DC, like, they haven't built up the universe enough. I need Batman and Superman until you build up until I know who Flash is, until I know who Aquaman is. Like, until I see these characters and I know them, this is the guy. Like, I need a Batman and a Superman presence because they are always present in whatever DC comic there is. Those are the guys. That's the top of the chain. There's even a number of comics where they say we're going to the top, all the way to the top, and it goes to Batman and Superman. Like, that's the thing. So I think DC is not capped. I think DC wanted to promote other superheroes, and I'll say it like Marvel did because nobody knew Hulk and Thor and Iron Man were before the Avengers, which is fucking bullshit. My mom knew who Hulk was before the Avengers, but
You're not
people.
wrong, but think about it from like a point of view to where like people knew who they were, but no one really knew what the stories were. You know, not that even
But
when anyone
peop-
needs to know what the stories are for Superman or Batman, but you feel like they've been so ingrained in your culture. It's almost like they. I don't want to use the whole B C list scenario. I just
that's
want to
my
say
issue. Yeah.
that it's possible that even though you know who these characters are, they weren't ingrained in you growing up. You
And
know.
and that's a fair argument, and I can agree with that. But I guess where I falter in that is, or where I have a problem with that is, like, people are saying, well, these guys weren't A-level characters, which I feel like they were. Like the Avengers and the X-Men were some of the first Marvel comics ever, so I feel like they definitely were um, A-level characters, even though they may have been insanely popular over the last 20 years. They're A-level characters. Um, but you have these characters they're saying are not A-level characters. Then you have characters like Blue Beetle, for instance, for DC, which I would consider to be a B or C level character. Not because I think he's a poorly written character, or I don't like Jaime Reyes or Ted Core or anything like that. It's because the majority of people, if you said Blue Beetle, would have no idea who that was. I feel like if you can go to a common person on the street, if you can ask 10 people in the street, do you know who the Hulk is? Before these movies came out, probably 9 people would say yes. Whereas the A-list characters in DC, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, all that, of course people know that. They're A-list characters. If you went to what would be considered a B-list character for DC, hey, tell me who Blue Beetle is. Tell me who Jay Garrick is. Tell me who a Booster Gold is. Something like that. They would have no fucking idea. And that's what I would consider a B to C list character, somebody that a common person wouldn't know. So I do have an issue with, like, once again, I'm never going to say that the Avengers weren't known characters coming into this series, but I'm not general audience either. So I have to temper my expectations with that. I'm looking at it through my scope. These are not B list characters.
But I think that's why they are. I mean, not to talk one or the other. I don't mean this, but I think that's why you have a scenario to where Marvel is taking such great care with the Fantastic Four series. Like, if they're going to bring this out, then hopefully the reason why they're putting all this care into it is because they can't afford to screw it up. And I don't think that, it's not that like DC screwed up a whole bunch of things. It's just that DC keeps trying to resurface the parking lot way too fast. Like it's almost like they come out with one Batman. It's like, okay, we got another one. Hold on, like this is a new thing. And then it's like, now they're telling Elseworld stories, which is okay, but how do you continue to tell these stories that you have or push on forward with Elseworld stories at the same time?
Right.
You can't do such a big character like Superman or Batman in an Elseworld story.
I mean, in DC you can. There's like, dude, I'm telling you, there's like 12 different Superman stories out right now and like 12 different Batman stories out right now. All different
Yeah,
creators, characters, writers, artists. It's there's no
you're
one
talking about comic books,
baseline
and
story.
I
Yeah.
have zero problem with it in comic books. But you just made the comment to where you're not a general audience fan.
Mhm.
General audience fans go see movies.
Yeah, they probably want consistency, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I'm gonna like circle back with that and let I even well to fully circle back to Titans. I thought that at some point they were going to reach back out to Batman in this episode. I
Didn't he
thought there was
die in the
almost
last season though?
yeah, but I thought that there was going to be something that look, people
I got
die
you.
all the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
you're right. You don't actually die in comics. I
that
get
shit ain't gonna stick.
it. Yeah.
And so I was very interested to see like what they were gonna do with it because even though that's why I say I want to see them get weird. They could bring back almost any type of Batman. This would have been the swan song for these two shows if they were to play it directly into the Flash movie.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
there's been so much turmoil and animosity with the main actor. There's been so much that's gone on that they just haven't had the ability to think that far in advance.
All right.
If they could have taken these two shows in their last season, the series finale, and actually given us something that like really started throwing fireworks into the machine, and then like the Flash movie just took a whole sidebar and was like, "Hey, we know what you just saw, but here's how we can make this even better. And we're going to start by telling you a fresh story, and it's going to have bits and pieces that fall into that." Years ago, just as a Marvel fan, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. used to do that, bits and pieces, before like Age of Ultron came out. And it worked a little bit. It was just enough to make you happy as a fan to watch a show and a movie. But then like it all started to fall apart after that. DC is primed for this moment right now, and I wish that they would have done so. It would have meant so much to me to bring me back in completely into the DC circle. So I hate the fact that they're not doing it. It is a missed opportunity. You're muted.
I would say it definitely is, man. I think DC's had a ton of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if moving forward with Gunn, with this storyline they have, if they're gonna save this franchise. And it's like Bryce Young. It's not my choice, but I'm totally behind it, and I am
I'm
down
with
to
you.
see them succeed. So we're gonna see what happens with it, man. I'm just we're going to see Flash, right? Like I'm definitely buying tickets to that movie. So like I'll buy the tickets as soon as it comes out. Like we need to go see Flash together, and we need to see if Sarah can come meet us. Maybe we'll go to Raleigh. I'm down. We'll
Bro,
drive to Raleigh.
Guardians is next week. I'm looking at next week.
I
Like I
think
want
that
to
my
look at.
next movie is going to be Flash, man. To be honest with you,
Right.
I haven't seen enough from Guardians that's made me want to go, like buy a ticket. Like,
I'm
don't
down
get me
to
wrong,
clown with
it's
that
going to be a
movie.
good movie, but it's not like something that I've seen. It's like I've got to go see that. I think I'm just saving myself for the Flash. Is what it is. Edging for Flash. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Okay. All right.
So,
Well,
but I don't know. Well, all right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get out of here. I got nothing else. Do you got anything else?
no, there's a bunch of functional penis jokes and shit that didn't matter. Apparently, Cliff was hitting the sheets with Joan Jett. So I don't know. There's all sorts of things that were happening. I love the Doom Patrol aspect of this episode. That's just me, but you know how big of a Doom Patrol fan I am.
That was a
So
pretty good call. Yeah. He swears, you know, that it happened. So,
Mm-hmm.
but all right, man. Well, you can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter is my personal handle. Check out GCS Podcast One on Twitter is the show handle. We're here live every 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. I'm working on trying to get the audio version uploaded to the streaming service that I've used for 4 years. It somehow is not working right now, but the audio version is down. But hey, come check us out on YouTube. That's the best way to do it anyway. You can see these gorgeous faces, you know, beautiful beards, and see what we're doing in here. But Ross, I got nothing else, man. I'm ready to
Check
go
out Boobs.
Tim says, Ross, you need to get on Discord.
I know, man. You keep telling me.
Discord's not really social media. It's kind of like semi-social media. It's like Reddit. You'll like it. It's still hard to figure out, though. I'm old. But all right, I'm getting out of here.
You're wearing me down, man. You're wearing me down.